Before I let you all go and enjoy some Easter eggs this weekend, we need to dive into some new VR games and VR news that is happening right now, and surprisingly we have quite a lot to get through, so be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's video. ILMX Labs is back making some more Star Wars VR content, but it's not quite what I expected. Star Wars Beyond Victory is coming to MetaQuest 3 and MetaQuest 3S. It's called a mixed reality playset, but will also have some VR implementation. It's set around the time of Solo, a Star Wars story, and seems to be mostly about pod racing. There's an adventure story mode which uses a combination of VR and MR, which follows a character called Volo, an aspiring pod racer whose life gets flipped upside down under the mentorship of Sebulba. And this is classed as an arcade experience where you can experience the thrill of pod racing on a virtual holo table. There's also a playset feature allowing you to create a mixed reality room with unlockable Star Wars virtual action figures and vehicles. Now, after watching this trailer, I'm not quite sure how I feel about it due to the draw distance of the actual track, but as a Star Wars fan, I'm still pretty hyped for it.
Waves crash against my rowboat as I push forward. You may be thinking, how did I end up here?
Pirates VR Jolly Roger is a pretty cool survival adventure game which I featured back in January, so if you want to see some gameplay, just take a look, and it's coming to PSVR2 on May the 15th. The developers have mentioned they will be using PSVR2's adaptive triggers and headset rumble, but unfortunately there is no mention of what sort of refresh rate we'll be getting, or if there's any eye tracking being implemented. So as always, going with the expectation of 120Hz reprojected for these kind of ports, but we should also hope for the best. Ghost Town is coming next week to MetaQuest first, with Steam and PSVR2 following shortly after, and I've already started work on a full review for next week, and it looks pretty incredible for a standalone game. You play Edith Penrose, who is a witch turned ghost hunter, an exorcist and paranormal investigator, and you must use the combination of wits and ancient magic to overcome some unearthly puzzles. Since this is being developed by the same team that made the Room VR, this is one I'm absolutely excited to get my hands on.
Yeah. There's definitely something down here. Adam? Be careful, Edith. This is getting weird.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know.
I'll get you out of this. Somehow.
Walltown Wonders is a real favourite of mine in mixed reality on Quest, and it's now coming to PSVR2 and Steam very soon, and is now set in a fully virtual world. It will feature 100 unique building models, 40 characters, a new dating feature, and 3 virtual environments which can be switched from day to night time. I've no doubt this will look absolutely stunning on PCVR and PSVR2, so I'll be dropping a review as soon as possible. Virtual Skate is a physics-based skating simulator coming to MetaQuest 3 and MetaQuest 3S and PCVR. The developers have said players will have full control of their feet directly with their hands, very similar to what we've already experienced with Skate VR, and it will also have an intuitive physics system. I actually really like the look of this one, and as an ex-skater myself, I especially like what they've shown here in the trailer, where it looks like you can film other players' tricks, which is something me and my friends actually used to do. Hypercharge is a full-on fast-paced FPS, and is potentially going to be ported to VR for Quest, PCVR and PSVR2 at some point in the future. Now, Hypercharge is made with Unreal Engine 4, and I tested it a while back with UVR, and I found it surprisingly natural to play in VR, and the main reason I think this could all turn out to actually be a reality is these developers have experience in VR already, because they made the absolutely brilliant retro arcade Neon many years ago now, and it still stands as one of the best VR arcade simulators you can play. If they also get cross cross-platform play working on this title, it could be an instant win for everyone, so my fingers are crossed. The House of Da Vinci is being ported to PSVR2, and after reviewing it on Steam and Quest, I think everyone who loves VR puzzle games and escape room games needs to be hyped for it. It's a stunning looking game with gorgeous environments and definitely has a very imaginative and inventive challenge. Rebellion's Zombie Army VR might actually turn out to be decent after my previously disastrous first impressions back in August, due to a recent tweet where the developers have shared they are working to make the best use of the PSVR2 version with a solid 90Hz refresh rate, eye tracking in combination with dynamic foveated rendering, adaptive triggers and headset rumble. Now knowing this puts this game back on my hype list, because if they're making this effort for PSVR2, then they are surely making the effort for the Quest and PCVR versions too, and we haven't got long to wait because the game releases next month.
That sound! Mein Gott! Suiciders!
Consider that bone picked. Splendid. Got it.
Courage, Dead Hunter. We need to see what lies inside, no matter what horror lurks beyond those doors.
An interesting looking new horror game called Tunnels is coming on the 15th of March to Quest, and the reason I'm pretty excited to check it out is VR is fantastically good at causing claustrophobia. In Tunnels, you'll be exploring abandoned mine shafts, tunnels to find a way out, featuring some cool looking climbing sections and zip lines and monsters. Tunnels will also have a single player mode and multiplayer mode, which is something I'm excited for personally, because I'll be hitting up my boy Beardo Benjo, hoping we can make a co-op vid of this one. I want to quickly mention that Resist has got a PS5 Pro update enabling 120Hz, which should lessen any motion sickness, which I personally experienced for my review, but I did play for 4 hours straight, which probably wasn't the best idea looking back, but it's nice to see those of us who have invested in a PS5 Pro for VR to have another reason to justify the purchase. iRobot, which is a remake of a classic arcade shooter from Jeff Minter, is getting an exclusive VR mode on PSVR2, and it features 55 levels and online leaderboards, and I've no doubt it will be a very surreal visual VR experience, going by everything else Jeff Minter has ever done for VR in the past. I haven't played it yet, but if you have, please take a moment to let others know what you think of it down in the comments. The legendary Walkabout mini golf is set to raise its price from $15 to $25, but it will now include 6 DLCs as standard, starting on May the 1st. In my opinion, this game is an absolute must-own VR title, and if you haven't got it already, you might as well now hold off till May the 1st. The best bit of this game is absolutely the multiplayer, which can be enjoyed with up to 8 players, and it looks stunning on whatever headset you play it on. Resident Evil 4 Remake on PSVR2 is now closing in on being played by over 200,000 players. Upload VR kindly shared some stats today, showing this makes up only 2.8% of the game's current player base. In comparison, Resident Evil 7 on PSVR had over 1.2 million players, which is closer to the 8% mark. Now, these statistics on Resident Evil 4 Remake is crazy to me personally, because it just means there's so many players out there who love this game but have yet to play it in the best and most immersive way possible. Once you've played many games that you love on a flat screen in VR, there's simply no going back, and with PSVR2's recent permanent price reduction, I'm hoping this number goes up even more.
Holy fire! Cleanse him of his sin!
Damn it! You shall not escape! Who are you gonna protect like that?
And last but not least, unfortunately Civilization 7 has got off to a bit of a rocky start, with players reporting performance issues, but a potential fix has apparently been discovered. And obviously I'm not sure what other channels you guys watch for reviews, but I did state they knew about these issues and they just decided to launch it anyway, which is a painfully reoccurring theme for VR recently, making many games not the day one purchases that they should be. If you haven't already, check out my review by searching the game's name and Gamertag VR. Well, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe for more VR content, and I'll see you guys on the next one.